Hi everyone, it's Kino here. Welcome to another episode of Living the Yogi's Life, where I share with you the tips and tricks on how I translate the lessons learned on my yoga mat into my daily life. This is not an easy thing to do, to distill the episodes of learning that come on the yoga mat that is so much of a solitary journey into real life lessons you can apply in your everyday life. But that's what I'm hoping to do with you here and now. First of all, I want to apologize because my voice is a little bit strained. I've been traveling and teaching a lot, and I've been taking it as a sign that I should rest. But I still want to share with you something that's been on my mind because it's been really present for me in my practice. There are some asanas, some yoga postures that are so hard for me that just thinking about them, I kind of get the sense of feeling overwhelmed, and they take a long time to do. There are some really challenging back bends and really challenging handstands, which while I'm excited to do them, they also take a lot of energy. So what I've noticed in my practice lately is that if I think about doing them all, I get this sort of overwhelming sense of almost anxiety, like a nervousness, like I'm not going to be able to handle it, I'm not going to be able to go through it all. And I noticed that that same anxiety generally comes up when I think and plan too much about the future. So this is something I've noticed in my students as well, that when sometimes they think about doing the whole practice, and me too, I think about this, stand in front of my mat and I think, oh my God, I'm going to be doing yoga for 1 hour, 2 hours. And then you think about all of the asanas that you're going to do. You can get overwhelmed just by projecting that much into the future. Well, yoga is about the present moment. It's about breathing and accepting and being exactly where you are. So this is the technique that I use when I'm feeling overwhelmed about one asana or one group of asanas or even my whole practice. I give myself permission simply to do the very next movement, whether it's sun salutation A or whether it's a complicated handstand, for simply one breath. And I give myself full permission to stop. At the end of that movement, I evaluate. And I say to myself, is it okay? Can I go on? What will happen is that as one moment, as that one moment of hesitation or of panic sort of passes, then my body's naturally drawn into doing the next thing. If I don't actually think too much about the future and I don't try to work out what I'm going to do in that moment, what I'm going to do in this moment, what I'm going to do in that moment, then when I'm in the situation, usually it's okay. The most important aspect of this is that you give yourself the full permission to stop if you don't feel good. So if you finish sun salutation and it's true that your body is tired or you need rest, you give yourself permission to take that rest. Or whatever asana you're doing, if you try it and it doesn't work out, you have to give yourself 100% permission to back away from that. That's the only way that this sort of works, because you really, really stay present and you check in moment to moment. Now, I'm going to share with you a really funny story about this sort of future projection and the way that it can create kind of stress in your life. Now, when I was a little girl, I dreamed about having a car, and when I can still remember that when I was like 11 or 12 years old, I would talk to my father about all the different kind of cars that I wanted, and we would get into these arguments because he didn't think I should have that kind of car. Well, we would get into these arguments, I want this car. And he said, no, you sweetheart, you can't have that car. And we would get into these heated arguments. When I turned 16 and I got my first car, thank you, Dad, and thank you, Mom, for that. Still appreciate it. Now, we didn't have any issues. There was no fight. There was only this happiness around my first car and my driving license. Think about that. If you take that as an example, whatever thing that you are intending, when you try to work out the details of it, this is a way that we micromanage the grand, beautiful power of the universe. So this is what my yoga practice has taught me. Set your intention. So I set an intention, whatever is my dream, whether it's a new car when I'm 16 years old, or whether it's a handstand moving into a back bend, or whether it's to do my practice. And then I try to surrender the details into a power that is grander and more powerful than I can ever possibly imagine. And in that surrender is the humble recognition, not the recognition. Now it's the humble recognition that you cannot control the details and that you shouldn't control the details. In fact, you don't need to micromanage that grand, beautiful power that is the essence of the universe. You need to send out your intention and be clear on it, and then trust. Surrender is an aspect of trust. Trust that the universe is powerful. Trust that you are loved and that you are worthy and that you will get everything that you desire, and that when you work, it will be recognized slowly and steadily, but you must commit yourself to it every day. This is how the practice works. You don't have to do it all in one day, and it doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't need to think about what you're going to do 5 asanas later or 1 hour later into your practice. All that you need to do is set your intention to show up on your mat, be the best that you can possibly be, be breathe, feel your body, be present, and then let a power that's greater than you are take care of all of those details. Pause for a moment, think about that. Imagine if you didn't have to think about how exactly this little thing is going to work out or that little thing is going to work out, and you could trust. In that space of trust, you are more open to receive that which you are meant to receive. This has been a really hard lesson for me because I'm definitely a micromanager of the universe. I'm an overplanner. I overplan. And in that overplanning, I take away the space for spontaneity. I take away the space for the universe to deliver to me something bigger than I could imagine. So I've learned to pause, set an intention, and give space. Allow space around you. Allow space to breathe. Allow space for your dreams to materialize and for your dreams to take bigger shape and to evolve into something beyond that which you can imagine. We have to understand, I think, as human beings, that our logic, our rationale is by definition limited. And the way that we can grow as human beings is by tapping into the limitless potential of the human spirit rather than the limited potential of reason and reason and rationale, right? Our logical mind, okay? Now, yoga works in a non-logical way because we're breathing. We're tuning into the kinesthetic intelligence of the body. And within the field of the body, we get a momentary glimpse of that limitless, expanded potential of ourself, our higher self, our divine self. With that intention, I hope that you're inspired to do your practice every day and to release the details into that higher power out there that has your best interests at heart. And through the continuity of your daily practice, you'll learn to surrender more, to trust more, to be happier, and to be more free. I hope you're inspired to practice every day. Thanks so much for watching. Namaste.